You recording? I'm recording.
Check one, check two.
Yep. Big, beautiful balls.
Check it out.
Yeah. Keep going. Gold chain. Chrome
Silver
chain in
today.
effect. It's
Chrome. Yeah. Metal. Painted silver onto metal.
Yeah.
$20.
Looking like somebody from Corn.
From Corn?
Yeah.
C-O-R-N?
Yeah.
Cornfield?
Yeah.
Bro, these shades just mean that I don't give a
Clearly. Happy Sunday. Shoot. Just make myself a little room here.
Yeah.
Crowded.
Here we go, man.
Yeah. Hey, hello. Welcome to another episode of Be on the Mats with your host, Jeffrey F. Spain Jr., Double Deuces, and his co-host, James Anthony Williams, now Professor James Anthony Williams, where we talk about jiu-jitsu and how jiu-jitsu correlates to life. Today's special episode is lucky number 16, Sweet 16, entitled Expectations. What are yours?
Are they unreasonable?
Of yourself and of others.
Have they led to resentment in your life?
Do you hate you?
Do you hate you? I like your self-proclaimed professor, which is what you are now. It's actually it's changing the dynamic between us.
Is it?
We're no longer, in my mind, this is how I think, right? So it's no longer teacher-student. Mm-hmm. The student has become the teacher.
Okay.
So now it's just two black belt dudes.
Yeah.
Two black belt dudes running the coolest podcast.
Yeah.
In 2026 in Lebanon, Tennessee. But yeah, man, feels good.
Yeah,
I like you being a black belt. You know, it feels more natural to talk to you.
Nice.
Now. Yeah.
Oh, to talk to me now.
Yeah. I don't feel like I'm up here anymore. I feel like we're kind of like more, you know,
eye level.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still getting used to it because there's Saturday we were doing comp class and I'm looking at you and Jason standing together and I'm like, man, that's a cool picture. All those black belts over there, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm one too. I just, I don't know if it's mine yet. It still feels like a dream.
It's only cool if it was only cool looking to you because we're both bald and black belts.
Yeah, that's probably it. That's probably it. Jason Statham and you.
Me. Yeah, I don't even know what you would call me. Who could I be? I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe Kratos if I start doing testosterone.
Oh, yeah, that'd be it. Yep.
Get all bulged up,
Get a little more gray in your skin.
Yeah. So yeah, expectations. That's where we're at today.
Lowered expectations.
Lower those expectations, y'all. That's the key to conquering them is lower the hell out of them.
It is. Get off your high horse.
That's it. I was thinking the first thing that came to mind when we got this topic or when we first decided on it was how students have expectations of their coaches in jiu-jitsu, and how a lot of times jiu-jitsu coaches obviously will have expectations of their students. And this could be across gym culture, competitions, and, in my experience coaching, I've definitely been guilty of like giving more than I should and expecting loyalty in return from students. And this was early as like a purple belt. So like I was still learning how to be a leader in a gym, right?
Yeah.
And I remember like, I would pay for tournaments, I would pay for trips, and in return, really all I just wanted was consistency and attendance. It wasn't like I was asking people to be world champions or to train every single day for that matter. It was just like, just show up to the classes.
Right.
Be a good role model.
Right.
Like, try to follow suit with what I'm trying to build. And I was severely disappointed by some of the decisions some of my early students. And part of that's on me because I had an expectation based on actions that I took expecting some kind of reciprocity that was never going to be the case, right? Because people are going to let you down because people are people, right? So, and in turn, well, we'll just stick on that for a moment because I can't really speak from the student coach aspect, but I can speak from coach to student. Your thoughts, James?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there is some truth to that. You could, anytime you pour into something, you're expecting to get a equivalent exchange. If I take fluid out of like if I pour milk out of a 1 gallon jug into a half gallon cup, I expect there to be a half a gallon in that cup when I finish pouring. But the way reality works, whenever you're dealing with people, you don't always get back what you pour into them. So when you set those expectations that say like, hey, if I'm willing to go this far for you, you should be willing to go this far for you as well, or for me, because I've given to you in this way. And unfortunately, that's not the way humans are geared. I think if anything, you set yourself up for disappointment whenever you say like, hey, I'm going to give you everything that I've got as long as you give me everything that you've got. Yeah,
and there was never really any verbal contract saying, hey, I'll do these things for you if you do this for me. In my mind, it was just assumed, which is my first mistake, right? And my second mistake is, if I'm going to do something for somebody, it has to be expectation free. It has to be for the sake of, for it being something that I feel is right and that I want to do. And I feel like I've learned a lot of those lessons, I do. And it's funny because like when people do that for me, or when I've had people do that for me, like they've either given me gifts or, they've offered like whatever's been offered to me, I always kind of like, wait a minute, what does this person want?
Yeah, what do you want in exchange?
Like, whatever it may be, I'm always, on edge, kind of wondering what the
ulterior motive
is. So I forget that if I'm doing that, even if I don't have expectations, that could be the projection that I'm giving that person. They might think that I have some ulterior motive, or that I'm, doing things because I'm wanting something in return. But I try not to be that way anymore. I don't do that kind of stuff because I understand what it leads to. Ultimately, it's resentment,
Well, not completely. I mean, because there are those that if you pour into them, they'll pour out just as much as you give. I mean, there are all those individuals. I'm one of those people that if you do for me, it becomes a competition to say, okay, I don't want to feel like I owe somebody. So if you do something for me, I'm more than likely going to push to get back whatever you spent or whatever you think is a fair exchange of effort versus income or whatever that may be, because I'm on the other side. I don't want to feel like I owe somebody. So that's why I put in the extra effort, because I would much rather get somewhere and pay my way and be nice to people along the way, as opposed to getting somewhere and feeling like I owe everybody and how they feel about my response to me owing them.
Yeah, and that raises the question. It's like, should you accept everything that's given to you?
No, you shouldn't.
It's like, that's
everybody that's trying to give you something ain't trying to help you.
And on the flip side of that, for students who have expectations of their coaches, like as we were talking, I started to feel that stir of moments and memories of like students who felt like they were more deserving than they were. So like wanting special treatment, special training sessions with their coach, because they have this idea of who they are and what their goals are, but their actions aren't lining up with their goals, right? Yeah. Whether it be your consistency to class, whether it be the presentation of who you are when you're in class,
or just working the things that have been assigned to you while in the class. Like,
right.
These are the things that I told you should focus on, because I've watched you and I've observed where your strengths are, and these are the tools that you should focus on. And then when I catch you in a moment of just sparring, you're working some weird lapel lasso laser guard that you learned on Instagram.
Yeah, and the ones that really stand out to me are like the guys who are brand new, like white belts with a couple stripes, and they want like a 10-year relationship with you.
Yeah.
And they've only been at the gym for maybe a year, maybe a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
That kind of relationship takes time.
It does.
I'm always cordial with people that want to be friendly and want to get to know me, want to tell me about their lives. But I'm not always as reciprocal about my life and the things I've gone through, because I've learned that, oh man, there's this saying I just heard. It's like, loose lips sink ships. You heard that saying?
Yes.
Dude, man.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap. Is that not the truth? You know?
Yeah.
And
Wait, are you just now hearing this?
that's the first time I've ever heard that
Are
saying.
you serious?
Yeah.
I'm not that old, Jeff.
No, that's the first time I've ever heard that. I
3
mean,
6
I
Mafia
know what
has
it's.
It's in one of their songs.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of, it's the truth.
It is. That's got to be like from the 50s or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
I mean, you
I'll
old
look
as
it up.
hell. Let's get real.
Okay.
You're half a century old.
Yeah, close. Not yet. I'm
I
close.
think you might even have more gray in your. No, I've got more gray.
No, we all know that you got more gray in your
Less hair.
sideburns than
Lot
I got
less
in
hair.
my whole body.
Dude, what would you do if I went to Turkey and got hair injections, right? Or got whatever they do in Turkey.
Implants.
And I got the same kind of troll haircut as you. And I did that
Troll
next
haircut?
episode.
You know, if you did that, Jeff, I would ignore it. I'd ignore it and I'd just say, huh, well.
I would keep it gray, though, just so I could, like, flex my seniority over you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, because that's the sign. That's the sign of seniority, gray hair. You already got me beat, Jeff. Like, you're already balding. You already got all the gray hair.
It
Like,
pisses me off, too, because you're like 5 years older.
yeah. I mean, that's what a calmer life leaves you.
Yeah.
It leaves you with your hair, and it keeps
Age
its color.
before beauty, though, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. and I'm both. I'm old and I'm pretty. No,
Anyway,
but to your point, as far as students that are that you kind of put in a position where they have expectations in front of them from a coach to student standpoint, I think growing up as a white belt, blue belt, purple belt, there were greater expectations for me, I think, just because I was like, hey, my instructor asked me, do I want to do a tournament? So he must thinks that I'm good enough to do it. So let me check my finances, make sure I can afford it. And if I can and do it, then yeah, I'll jump in. I don't want to have it set up so that you felt like, okay, well, I got to make sure I pay for this for James and this and that. And even when it was a scenario where Jarrell was on the kids competition team that we had, I didn't want it to be a scenario where you felt like I've got to pay for everybody's way plus James and his kids. Like, no, that's always like my kids are my responsibility. So even if it is a sponsorship program, that's great, but I'm going to pay for a place for us to stay. I don't recall. Did I pay for his pan?
So the way it works,
I think I did. I don't recall.
Yeah. So for 3 years, we, as a school, were trying to pursue high-level kids jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go to Atlanta and potentially Nashville. We didn't travel all over the place, but the big one was Florida.
Local.
Yeah, the big one was Florida that we were trying to travel to and wanted to get families and kids involved who we thought had potential, or even if they just wanted to do it, to push themselves to see how far we could take it. It was very challenging for a number of reasons, but
it's kids.
But we were able to get a lot of sponsorships within the school from different people, and each year it grew a little bit. And the third year, which was the biggest year, but probably the hardest year too, because the more people involved, the more money gets thrown around, the more complicated things get.
Yeah.
And what we did, though, just to answer your question, was we got a reimbursement check. I think it was $1,000 or maybe $2,000 per. It was $1,000 per athlete, I think. So $1,000 sponsorship per athlete to help pay for the cost of whatever the travel and stuff like that. So I think that was the amount. It's like 1,000 or 1,500 or something.
Yeah.
But and then it helped pay for my cost too for traveling and going down there, and so it was fun while it lasted, but again, expectations, right? I think there was some parents who expected more help with the sponsorship, even though we didn't really know how much we would get, just depended on who wanted to get involved. And so as the whole process is going on, we're like, okay, this is the goal. This is what we're looking to do. And then also how much attention and help the kids are getting. And then also my expectations of what they're doing outside of the class to help prepare for their game plan, and then the parents holding them accountable for those things. So many expectations across the board, and because it was still early, doesn't mean that we couldn't have refined it over the years and maybe kept doing it. But to be honest, man, it's like it's got to be. It's a lot of it has to be the kid's decision.
Yeah,
it can't be a bunch of grown-ups forcing the kid to do it.
Right.
Two, the level of talent in the room. It's like there's going to be a lot of disappointment before there's success.
Right.
It's like, just like in jiu-jitsu, we talk about all the time, failure happens.
Yeah,
like
the majority of your
way
career
more
in
than
jiu-jitsu is failure.
And that's hard for a lot of parents and kids to understand. For us, we've been involved for so long, it's easy to comprehend that, like, that's part of it. You got to trust the process. But getting people to trust the process, is not always is easier said than done.
Yeah, and the reason why I even brought that up is because I think that was one of the places where you did a very good job of making sure expectations were understood. Because for many reasons in jiu-jitsu, whenever you're planning something, the more time you spend level setting your expectations, the higher your chances of success are, I think. Because in those moments, you put together a whole document that the kids went over with their parents and with you to say, these are the things that this athlete or your child needs to do to be a part of the competition team, number one. It's a invitation scenario as well. So you don't just get to be on the competition team. You have to earn your spot. And this is how many classes they need to be at. This is what division they're trying to shoot for. This is the game plan that they need to come up with. The parent and the child need to make a flow chart of what does that game plan look like. And if it goes wrong, how do we get back to the flow chart game plan? So I think a lot of those steps involved, while it could be a lot of expectations, I mean, Kid Pans is, as far as I know, the highest level competitive kids tournament in the world, so, or at least in the U.S. So I would think you'd want to set some high expectations for people that are going to do this, because you don't want to take a kid that hasn't competed all year and then say, all right, now we're going to Florida and you're going to fight some of the toughest kids in the U.S. and probably the world too. So setting those expectations early kind of, I think, helps people understand what they're stepping into. Yeah,
but I found even if you put everything in writing and you get people to agree to it, they still will act however they're going to act, right?
So at the end of the day, we're all people.
Yeah, and the biggest reason that stuff was in place is that if for any reason we couldn't fund or finance a family was kind of protection too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
But so as you guys could probably understand, I think it's definitely achievable with the right approach, and I think we were getting to that point. But at the time in my life, I needed to steer into a different direction. It was causing a lot of stress for me because I was the one that was pretty much organizing and pushing the whole thing.
Yeah.
So as grateful as I am for the experience and for the people involved who helped support it, the sponsors, the families, I think now we're in like a better season as far as a school and a community goes, because there's not that pressure. When you're competing at a high level, it's pressure all the way around. You know, sponsors want to see results, coaches want to see results.
Yeah.
It puts pressure on the
Competitors wanna see
parents, the
results.
kids. Yeah, so it's tough, and there has to be an element of alignment among everybody if that's going to be the case. And I just didn't feel like that's really, while we were trying to work that, I didn't feel like it was there. But
but that's one of the, not necessarily flaws, but one of the things that come from setting expectations. With expectation comes pressure, and how you respond to that pressure is kind of goes back to what you've trained for whenever you've gone through a situation like that before. So you mentioned that's what you think of when you first think about expectations. For me, the first thought that comes to my mind is the expectations we have of ourselves as we're at every belt level in jiu-jitsu. At a white belt, the expectation for some people is that this ain't going to work on me. I'm too big, I'm too strong, I'm too fast. And then they have to kind of be trained that expectation they have of this not working it's flawed. Or they have the exact opposite expectation of, well, this is the way Jeff showed me to do it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I know I'm doing exactly the way I'm supposed to be doing it, but it's still not working. So this must be stupid. And those expectations we set of ourselves, a lot of times at a white belt level, they're completely wrong, because you think you're doing it right, but you're not. And the reason it's not working is because either you're missing a key grip, either your weight is in the wrong direction, or either you're not facing the right direction. It could be a number of reasons why it's not working. So when people put those expectations on themselves that I know this move well enough that it should work, and someone comes and tweaks some little thing and now all of a sudden it works, it's intended to be a reminder to you that you have to level set your expectations, that you just started learning this and you're still a white belt. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to get it completely right. You have to give yourself the grace of not being perfect at it. That's the reason you're at a white belt level, because if you were doing it perfect, jiu-jitsu people would get a black belt in 2-3 years, just like every other martial art in the world.
Yeah, I mean, if you move to Mexico and you're there every day for a year, like, yeah, maybe you'll learn the language and be able to speak it fluently.
Yeah.
But most of the time, you're taking a Spanish 1 course at a community college, and
Yep.
you've got other responsibilities outside
Correct.
of that class, and it's going to take you a while to get fluent in the language.
Exactly. And jiu-jitsu is its own language for all intents and purposes.
I like the belts, right? So you said the white belt. Give me your example again about the white belt.
The white belts, they generally have an expectation that I'm doing this right and it still
it's not
doesn't
going to
work
work on me.
Yeah, it's not going to work on me, or I'm doing it right and it still won't work.
So now when you're a blue belt, you understand that jiu-jitsu works.
Yeah.
But then what do blue belts run into is that they have expectations to be treated like they know more than they actually do.
Yep.
And so there's nothing worse than a know-it-all blue belt. Nothing worse than a know-it-all blue belt.
Yeah.
I think it's good to
there
be
is.
confident.
There is.
A know-it-all white belt.
A know-it-all white belt. No, a know-it-all
Yeah.
2-stripe white belt.
Yeah. I think anybody who, even black belts, like I know plenty of higher level guys that don't want to hear anything because they think they already know the stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you from experience, I'll have to revisit the simplest things sometimes just because the jiu-jitsu is so vast. You're not going to be a master of the details all the time. Film study has to be a part of your practice. You got to constantly review new techniques, learn new things.
Because the sport's forever evolving. Like, just the simplest thing. We always talk about it, but it was one of the most eye-opening moments I had. I think I was a 4-stripe blue belt or almost a purple belt, and we went to a seminar, and to warm up, we were bridging. And instead of both hips going up, we only had one hip go up. And it just blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me I've been bridging wrong this whole time? And just the most simplest thing. So yeah, to your point, we have to continue to look at the sport and understand what's the new meta in the sport so that we can evolve with it.
And I think, bridging with 2 feet isn't wrong
It's not.
from a exercise standpoint.
Right.
But from getting somebody off of you or, recovering from side control, like opening up one hip and doing a one hip bridge helps prevent rib injuries and things of that nature. So like there's a method behind the madness of some of these techniques and why they work so well. And partially is because it protects you. Like you're trying to get out, but you're also trying to not get hurt in the process.
Like there are other expectations I think of, like blue belts are, now that I know this will never work on me again.
Yeah.
Like nobody will ever be able to get to mount on me again because now I know something. That's not true. People are still going to mount you. You're still going to have people on your back. You're still going to suck at jiu-jitsu because we all do at some point or another. You're learning it. I think another aha moment that I had was, and this was probably at purple belt, where I realized where I'm struggling to get out from under mount. I would either try to bridge or shrimp. And at some point, I can't recall who taught me, but they basically said, hey, when you're up in the air bridging, turn that into a shrimp and you'll get out every time. I was like, holy crap.
It's like combining two movements,
Combining the two fundamental escape maneuvers into one now makes it much more successful. So you set these expectations that, I'm doing the thing that I'm supposed to do and it's not working.
You forget one mechanic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to give yourself grace to say, like, okay, I am still learning, and this is not as simple as it should be because I am basically working against all of my natural instinct, and that's what jiu-jitsu teaches you. Your natural instinct 9 times out of 10 is wrong. So if you can work against your natural instinct, you tend to find that you have better success in jiu-jitsu.
So we're talking a lot about unreasonable expectations, but let's talk about some reasonable expectations.
Yeah.
So, we went from coach to student to expectations at, the gym culture and everything, belt levels. So for the coach, I think it's absolutely good for you to expect your students to show up fingernails trimmed.
Yeah. Just the basics.
Clean.
Yeah.
With the appropriate attire on.
Yeah.
Like if your gym requires you to wear the team gi, then that's what you should be in.
Yeah.
Team shirt, that's what you should be in.
You signed up for it, so you already know.
Just respect whatever the culture is of your gym. You, as a gym owner, you should 100% expect your students who signed up to participate in your gym to own those guidelines that you set at the beginning of their sign up.
Right. As long as they're being upheld. If you say like, hey, this is the rule and this is what we stand by, the gym owner should make sure those things are taking place. So if you're questioned about it, don't spaz out. It's just a matter of, hey, this is what this gym expects. Now, if you look around and there's several other people that are not following those protocol and they're not following it for several days, then, well, maybe you've got room to say something, or maybe it's not the right place to be. But if you see it's being upheld consistently, that's a reasonable expectation.
And I think if for any reason there's somebody who's not falling in line with whatever the rules or protocol is in your gym, then you do have to pull them aside to have a conversation, because not everybody is going to be, people have lives. They're not going to be assuming to know exactly what's right and what's appropriate and what's wrong. Sometimes they need to be told. Sometimes they need to be reminded and pulled into the office. And sometimes they even need to be explained why it's important.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, doesn't have to be important to them, but why it's important to you. And then for students, like, what can they expect from their coaches? Well, they can expect that their coach is going to deliver a class that's not only educational but safe. They're going to be learning how to train jiu-jitsu in a way that allows them to digest it safely. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah. And then having a clean gym.
Yes.
A place where they can come and train where they don't feel like they're going to catch something.
Oh, my God, yes.
And somebody who is
a teacher,
friendly, on time, and prepared to deliver consistent energy in each class, which is hard. It's
Oh,
hard
it
for
is.
it's hard for an instructor to be consistent in that energy because they're doing it day in and day out. You
Right.
know?
And sometimes a couple times a day.
Yeah, and sometimes things and I'll just speak from experience. Sometimes things in my life aren't always going the way I want them, but I try to like leave that for outside. Like, what do you say? You leave home at home.
Leave home at home.
Yeah. And leave work at work sometimes. But
and it's difficult to do that. I mean, that's almost like saying that you're two separate people. So, I mean, I think
the expectation is professionalism.
Yes.
That's what I think
That's
the
what it
students should expect from a good jiu-jitsu instructor. So some of these guys, man, like some of these jiu-jitsu instructors online, they they are like so off hinged in the way that they look at life and how they just like write about things.
Really?
And, oh yeah, some of these guys are a little bit too opinionated online. I'm like, it's going to be hard, I think, for your students to take you seriously if you're always unhinged on the internet. So, you know, even my online presence, like I try to keep as professional as possible because that's my livelihood.
Yeah.
You know, if I want to be unhinged or fun, I'm going to do it with my close friends and I'm going to do it behind closed doors. I'm not going to be acting like a fool.
All right.
You know,
and you shouldn't. 'Cause
Right.
You don't know how it's going to be interpreted by the next person. And depending
Exactly.
on how it's interpreted, you could negatively impact your whole business operation because you haven't set good expectations for yourself.
And it looks like, you know, you're a psychopath.
It could be that they are. I mean,
That's
if you
true.
don't know the difference, you probably are a little thrown off.
Yeah. So expectations for each belt level. So we already know white belt, expect to suck.
Yeah.
Blue belt, expect to be humbled and continue learning.
Yep.
Purple belt, expect to have some success, but then still get smashed by brown belts and black belts and have more things to learn. Brown belt, expect life to just suck.
Yeah, pretty much. This is a reoccurring
You're
thing.
good at jiu-jitsu, but you just hate life.
Yeah. Brown belt is depressing.
Yep, and black belts still whoop up on you.
Yep.
And then by the black belt, guess what? You're going to get tapped by white belts, blue belts, purple belts, brown belts, and you realize, oh, I'm just now more adapted to the suck.
Yep, that's it. I can expect that it's still going to be tough roles. I can expect that some people will be gunning for me just because of the seat that I'm in. So they can go off to the corner and say, hey, you know, I tapped a black belt. I mean, these are things that I expect. These are things that we should expect.
Expect that if you're socializing with other members at your gym that you tapped an upper belt, expect that upper belt to find out and eventually treat you accordingly.
Yes,
So,
yes. You got to respect the colors.
yeah.
You got to. I mean, it's because you don't know if they're working something new.
Yeah.
There may be something going on that they're nursing an injury. They may be trying to learn something new.
Giving you space to
they
try
may
to do
give
something.
They may give you the opportunity to get ahead so that they can see if they could come back. So if you get ahead and you think like, oh, yeah, I passed. Well, just know there could be a moment where they're purposely letting you pass just so they can see if they could put you back.
And a brown belt and a black belt should not be always at that point in your journey. You're not always training to win.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're still training to win all the time, you'll end up getting hurt, like me on Saturday, trying to pass this man's guard. And
I did nothing.
And
by
you
the
said
way.
it perfectly. It was like I hit the self-destruct button because we were kind of playing around. I immediately start working in the gi, some false reap Craig Jones stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Instant knee bar.
And it worked.
It did.
Then we lock up again, and it's like, okay, now James is like
Yeah, my knee is warmed
fresh
up.
off of competition mode, and this is my fault for pinching the dragon. So I'm just trying to pass, and I'll show the video too because I think
Okay.
it'll be hilarious. But I literally I take a couple stutter steps, and then my foot just gives out. My knee falls. I'm glad my knee is fine.
Yeah.
But my ankle is pretty swollen. But, you know, I walked a track today. I've been icing. I don't think anything's broken. Mm-hmm. But
Good.
it's just like you didn't even do anything except try to
No.
keep your guard. And I literally just stepped in, like, the perfect spot for my whole from the ankle up to just give out.
It's weird. I've made that exact same step before, and it's this moment where you kind of go on the ball of your foot and toes, and you're trying to plant, but it's a bad position, and so your ankle wobbles. And once it wobbles, the whole structure falls apart. And I know that it's supposed to work in certain positions, but I have yet to figure out exactly when that style of foot placement works. Because the same thing happened to me.
You can't expect that to happen.
No.
Like, it just does.
Yeah.
And it could be wear and tear. It doesn't matter what age. I mean, I imagine it probably happens more often the older you are, but...
Probably. But I've always had weak ankles, so I don't know.
If you're training all the time, there's going to be moments where your body is just like, yeah, we're done with that. You know,
just buckle.
That's enough
Get ready
pressure.
to fall.
So when injuries happen, you have to expect to take some time to rest. Like, I probably am not going to do open mat on Memorial Day because even though I want to, the rest of my body feels good. I can walk on it. I've got full mobility, but I know that it is not good.
Yeah. I mean, I think I saw you playing lasso afterwards. How did that feel?
I just made sure to not... Eventually, I honestly was just playing bottom half. Like, I was doing straight up Gordo style half guard. My whole left leg is dead. And, you know, when... At least, like, this is the way I operate, and I think most jiu-jitsu guys would agree. Like, if you hurt something early in a jiu-jitsu roll, but you know it's not broken and the pain goes away, but you know you did something, probably going to make the most of that training session and just keep going. Because it's like, at that point, you're already hurt. It's like, okay, well, I'm probably not going to be able to train after this session, but right now my adrenaline's going. It doesn't hurt anymore. I know something's wrong. I just need to protect it the rest of class.
Maybe I knew a couple weeks before I could get back in this.
I was not standing to pass. I couldn't stand. I could stand to walk, and like I could put weight on it, but I just couldn't.
Fast twitch muscle fiber issues.
Yeah, I couldn't like pressure and be on the balls of my toes, and so, you know, I'm dealing with that, and all thanks to...
It's not my fault. You'll see in the video.
Yeah,
it's not my fault.
It
I literally was just playing guard.
Yeah, I just stepped and just completely crashed out. But,
yeah, it's fine. We all do it.
So, you can expect injury to happen if you train jiu-jitsu. It's going to happen. It's just... And there shouldn't be... I think the hardest part is overcoming the fear there. Like, expect it to happen, but don't anticipate it. Don't make decisions. I mean,
out of fear.
Yeah, like, train safely. I think you should have a healthy amount of fear, but you don't want to be terrified of being physical.
Yeah.
Like, being physical is important to overcome.
It is.
That fear.
I think I would phrase it as, don't allow the unknown of will I get injured prevent you from doing something you enjoy. At the same time, as you are rolling, knowing that there's a possibility you could get injured from time to time, be aware of what you feel in the moment. Just because it helps with passing, it helps with sweeps, it helps just being able to feel your body. Because that's one of the quickest things that I remember having to learn around blue belt is that people are moving at times and I didn't even feel what they were doing until it was too late. But at late blue, early purple, when I started coming to realize like, oh, his guard just unlocked. Like I can feel that moment where his feet are no longer latched. That tells me, oh, I need to move here. I can get out of here. Or if somebody is trying to sweep and you need to post, pay attention to the way you post. Like if you are posting behind yourself, well, if the pressure comes here, there's not another structure to support your shoulder. So all of a sudden your shoulder pops forward. Next thing you know, you've got a bad shoulder. You post like this straight down. Now that structure goes straight to your chest. So you're in a better position. So just being aware of your body, setting expectations that you will put yourself in a good position to not get hurt, or be aware of what you feel when those things do happen. It's okay to fall down if you know you're not going to get injured or if it prevents an injury.
Yeah, and it's okay to concede sweeps and back takes. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're scared of the level of your competitiveness will get you hurt, then you just need to chill out.
Yeah.
Be
It's okay to be slow.
Be okay with being in a bad spot. Actually, I feel like the more you welcome being in bad positions, the less likely you are to get hurt because you're not freaking out or worrying about getting there because you're putting you there so much that immersion helps.
Yeah. It's similar to the way people always say that in a car accident, the person who is driving drunk miraculously gets out of a head-on collision at 70 miles an hour and just has a couple bumps and bruises, while a person on the other side who tensed up loses their life because they put so much effort into not being hurt that they actually end up being hurt. So just
the tenseness of
yeah,
it.
kind of just going with the flow.
Jiu-jitsu's strange because being too loose will get you hurt in jiu-jitsu for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes being tense is the right answer. So it really is all circumstantial.
It is.
And the only way to learn is through trial and error.
Yep.
There is no amount of preparation you can do in jiu-jitsu to stop an injury. It usually has to come from experience.
Yeah.
And as long as you learn from that experience and you can figure out a way to overcome whatever it is, whether it be surgery or not. And two, like be mindful of whether or not you need to run to a doctor. Like this thing from this Saturday, like what are you smiling for?
I was smiling because you said in reference to an injury, my first thought went to somebody that went and had surgery to repair cauliflower ear.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. We're not calling names.
But a lot of guys, they just run to the doctor as soon as something's wrong. Yeah, I went and got an MRI. I'm like, really? Like,
yeah. Well, there's always going to be something wrong every time you get an MRI.
Yeah, I mean, if you go, but now technology has advanced a lot. You know, it's the year 2026.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got me and Mike overcoming a knee surgery in almost like less than a month. It feels like he's already walking around on a lighter. I mean, I don't know how long it's been, but it's not been very long.
It doesn't seem like it has.
I mean, he had ACL, meniscus, and something else. I mean, his knee
a
was
whole
jacked
kit.
up.
He got the whole repair kit.
And now he's at least geared up and on the mat, and he's not training,
and
but
warming
he's
up.
he's doing PT and
Teaching people.
Yeah, if you got the means to be able to get that kind of treatment and just go in there, you got great insurance, that's fine. But for those of you who lack those
fundamental
assets,
resources
in your life, then a lot of times it's just R&R, man. You don't overdo it. You do ice and cold treatment. Fasting actually helps heal you a lot.
Cold plunges help heal as well.
Yeah.
If you can get a cold plunge, I've had one time, and it is the most interesting sensation that I think I've had in my life because 49-degree water, it literally forces, like there's a moment as soon as you get in the water that for whatever reason your body won't breathe and you have to force it to breathe. But once it does, you can feel all the blood rushing out of your extremities into your core. And while you're shivering, there's a moment where you don't necessarily feel as much cold as you do just cool. And by the time you get out, there's this kind of like euphoric state of clarity in your mind, and things don't hurt.
Did you get in fast or slow?
Oh, I dove in it. I am not.
I feel like that's the only way that I could have done it.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Like I've tried doing that in the neighborhood pool whenever the season, when it just opens and the water's still super cold and it's hot outside. You just got to dive in.
Yeah.
I put all the water in the tub on the floor. I was not going to get in slow.
So I feel like we have covered a lot for jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah.
So moving on to real life.
Jiu-jitsu's real life too, but I know what you
Jiu-jitsu
mean.
is real life. I feel like you can grab a lot of analogies just from the concepts we've talked about and apply them to real life. But I always like to actually talk about real life because
that's what the podcast is about.
It's what the podcast is about. And I mean, expectations leading, like I said from the beginning, unreasonable expectations leading to resentment is like probably the biggest thing that I've struggled with in my life.
Yeah.
And some of it stems from just feeling like if as long as I take these actions and do all these things, then things will work out the way I want them to. And that's not always the case. You can make all the right decisions and do all the right things, and
things still
not work out.
Yeah.
And what's my response to that? Well, sometimes I get angry, dude. I get really mad. I want to put a hole in a wall. Or I get really sad and miserable.
Yeah.
And then I have to act. I feel like I have to act as if, oh yeah, everything's cool. You know,
But
everything's fine. But it's not. And, you know, I have to ground myself in knowing that, like, all right, these things aren't working out, but what is working out? What is in my life right now that's good? I have to redirect my brain sometimes to understand, like, okay, I've got a roof over my head. I get to do what I love for a living. My kids are healthy.
Yeah.
I'm not financially worried anymore like I used to be. So, like, when I start redirecting my brain to those thoughts, all of a sudden my perspective changes a little bit, and I'm not so hung up on me. Like, why am I not getting this? Why is this not happening for me? And I think that's a big part of the sickness sometimes, you know?
Yeah. I think in like a everyday job, a normal career, you've got a lot of expectations on you, and you have to place expectations on others, and you actually place expectations on your employer. And so in those scenarios, those are the places where I think expectations, no matter how high or hard they are to achieve, they're still in place, and somebody's either going to be held to that standard or somebody is going to hold you to that standard. So in a career like a everyday job, like, yeah, the expectations are pretty much what drives success in those scenarios. But when you step out of that world and step into your own day-to-day life, you have to leave room, like you said, for expectations to be a little lower of the people around you, because if not, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. If you strip every person out of your life that didn't meet one of your expectations, it's going to be a very lonely life, because none of us are capable of meeting each other's expectations 100% of the time. Because if someone is meeting your expectations 100% of the time, I guarantee you're not meeting theirs. And somewhere along the way, they're probably looking to separate from you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the type of person that really tries to give everyone the benefit of the doubt as best as I can and as long as I can.
Yeah.
Unless, like, right off the bat, you're communicating to me indirectly that you're just, like, you know, not somebody worth my time or attention. But for the most part, I will attempt to look past as much as possible. Now, here's where my issue is my expectation is that people do that for me.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be the case.
It's not.
Some people are going to be turned off immediately by maybe one thing that I say or do.
Yeah. And they're going to hold you to that standard.
And I can't control that response.
Nope.
You know, I can't beat myself up and rack my brain searching for what I did wrong, why this person won't, you know, respect me or reciprocate, you know, whatever it is. You know, I have to, in those moments, realize, like, this is all a thing about them and not necessarily about me. Now, sometimes it is about me, but if you have any real friends in your life, they'll tell you the truth about your approach with whatever it is you're chasing.
Yeah, and good friends will do that for you. But also good friends, they'll have expectations for you, but they'll also kind of give you room to fall and not meet those expectations. And I know we're talking about real life, but there have been plenty of times where I didn't want to do a competition and you were like, hey, let's do this competition. And I'm like, okay, let's do this competition because Jeff wants us to do it. So I'll do it. But it's one of those things where if it's a good friend and it's a good relationship, sometimes people set those expectations of you because they know that you're capable of much more. And they know that when you get to the other side of it, you'll enjoy the results that you achieve from it. So sometimes, in some cases, your friends, they set expectations just to try to help you. And unbeknownst to you, it's so that you'll be the person that you want to be.
Yeah. I think when it comes to relationships, sorry, I'm just fucking blanking out right now.
That's all right.
It's a
Relationships
heavy topic,
require.
and my mind is all over the place.
Yeah, it's
Very real right now, and what's going on with me today. So
that's all right, man. You can set expectations of people in relationships. Like as an example, I said I don't wanna marry somebody who smokes or drinks, and I said that because I don't smoke or drink. I have relatives who are addicted to alcohol and other things, but because I know that's in my genetics, I don't want to be with someone who says, "Hey, this is just a part of me." Because if it's a part of them, then well, what happens to me down the road if I decide like, well, let me try it?
yeah, you link your life to that person.
Exactly.
And then,
When you start a relationship with somebody, generally you don't know where it's going to lead, but depending on how you connect with that person and how much time you spend with that person, you could end up picking up their traits. And if there are things that you've already identified are not good for you, then don't give up on that expectation. You have to have those rules in place for yourself that say that these are barriers and lines I'm not willing to cross. So yes, some expectations can be flexible, but some, I think you have to draw a hard line in the sand and say, I'm not okay with this, and this isn't something that I'm going to partake in.
yeah, what's the saying? If you hang out in a barbershop long enough,
You get your hair
you
cut.
get a haircut. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the other one? If you hang around with wolves long enough, you'll start to howl.
Mm. And that's the truth. I think some of us, and I don't really think this of myself, so that's not true. I definitely think I'm the exception to that rule sometimes. I feel like, oh yeah, I know myself enough. Like I could just be me, and regardless of how the other person is or what environment I'm around, I should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth of the matter is, like, I have to look at my history, and it's like the truth is, no, I'm not fine usually. I have to be very mindful of who I involve myself with.
Generally, the things that are best for us in life, I like to believe they happen at the right moment and the right time, and they seem easy.
Yeah.
The things that are somewhat challenging and fleeting, and I had to chase from a relationship standpoint, those relationships didn't work out. But the ones where it's just like this person makes it easy and allows me to be me without feeling like I have to put on a show or act a particular way to gain interest of this other person, those relationships I struggled in, and they didn't work out.
Yeah, it's tough to know sometimes. I mean, if we're talking about like dating, for example, if you're like saying, all right, because everybody does this when they date, they put on their best self, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so down the road, can you be consistent with that best self?
Right.
But if you show who you truly are, sometimes that doesn't resonate right away because you don't have rapport built with this person. Everybody operates on what that first impression is.
Yeah.
So it's tough, speaking from a man who's 40 in that arena at the moment. It's like, how do you know what you're supposed to be and what you're not supposed to be?
Yeah.
And this is where it kind of connects back to like what I was talking about earlier with like being sure to just putting in the effort. It should be enough, and not dwelling on the what did I do wrong. I think reflecting is good, but like we've said in the past, ruminating on the thing is like doesn't do you any service.
It eats away at you.
Yeah, I think it's about the effort, and then not allowing poor experiences to diminish your hope. Like not allowing poor experiences to make you cold or resentful. That's the real challenge, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, man, like there's times where I'm just like, fuck it, all of it, dude. Like I'm so done.
Yeah.
Done, bro. Like,
I've seen you that way a couple times.
yeah, probably more than you're admitting. Yeah.
It happens. But that's also part of being human.
Yeah.
And you get the opportunity to experience those feelings just like everybody else does. And while it may not be the best thing and we would like to be able to handle those situations better, we still are flawed. We're still people with feelings. And a lot of times, even women like to look at guys and think, oh, he'll be fine. It's like, no, just because I'm putting on a good face for you doesn't mean I'm not going to go home and be sad and play my video game and stare at the TV.
Well,
nothing has happened to my life.
The truth is, though, you will be fine. That's the truth.
You will be.
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, though.
Right.
And I think the big question that anybody should ask themselves is how much emotional weight are you putting into, like, searching for whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
Like, and if you keep getting let down, maybe that's a sign that you need to walk away for a while from searching for that thing, because it's clearly not serving you right now. Maybe the universe, God, is trying to lead you to something to lead you in another direction. The hard thing, though, about letting go of wanting to have control of that aspect of my life is the unknown, and thinking like I have to take action. Like, I can't just like expect things that I want to fall into my lap.
Right.
So
faith without work is dead.
Right. So then it's like, how do I know where the work is supposed to be? What work am I supposed to do? Like, I
think it's starting with your expectations.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is the initial step for the work that you need to perform. If you decide this is what I want it to look like, and not like a dead set number, this is exactly what it needs to be, but my expectation is a range. Nothing worse than this, nothing better than that.
Yeah.
And trying to find where your happy medium is in that range, still within inside your expectations. I mean, I think that's where you start.
No, I agree with you, man, because I want to be able to say, like, no, this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, this is the way.
Like, clearly I have no idea. But it is good because there's growth through heartache, right? There's growth through
failure.
Loss. And that's one thing I'm grateful for jiu-jitsu is because, like, I mean, I've built my life around failure, and there's a lot of things in my life that have continue to go really well. And dude, I'm really grateful that we started podcasting again.
Yeah.
Because this has been so therapeutic for me. Not that this is like a therapy session or whatever.
It kind of is. I'm at the desk.
Yeah. And we're in your house.
Yeah,
I know you're gonna start charging me. Yeah, that's it. But it's given me another source of meaning outside of the jiu-jitsu gym, which I think I was really looking for, because that's established and I'm in the routine of building and doing what I can with that. But I always enjoyed when we did it in the past, or when I first started diving into it. I just didn't know exactly what it was going to look like, and I didn't know exactly how much effort and work I was supposed to be putting into it. But now it feels perfect.
Natural,
it feels exactly
organic.
what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, drawing back to expectations, I have to make sure that my reason for pushing you to do this again with me stays the same, which is to share our experience in hopes that it helps others versus, trying to gain all these subscribers and followers. I mean, obviously that would be cool if we got that stuff as a result, but that's not the primary goal. That's not what motivates the why behind the work that goes into doing this. And I'm grateful that that I have a why beyond that.
Yeah.
It's if people can learn through my mistakes, what not to do and avoid like disappointment and hurt and
pitfalls of life.
Yeah, like that's that means more than me than anything else. That gives meaning to what it is that we're doing. So.
Yeah. And I mean, it goes in line with what you're doing as an instructor, because when you're teaching people jiu-jitsu, you're doing one of two things. You're teaching, or one of a couple things. You're teaching people to take better care of their body. You're teaching people how to reduce stress. You're teaching people how to protect themselves. You're teaching people how to step out of their comfort zone. And all of those things are kind of what we're doing on this podcast. We're ultimately trying to help people. I want to help people through any situation that I've been through. If I can give you the answers to the test and make it easy for you, I want to. Like, that's my goal for my children. If I could literally turn my life into a movie and let them watch it so they could see, hey, these are some of the dumb things I did as a kid and as a young adult and as an adult. If these things keep you from doing the same thing, my life is a success. And I get to live forever through you, because now you live longer. You live a better life. You live a happier life because you don't have to deal with the lessons of life that I learned.
Well, that brings up a whole new arena of expectations when we talk about children.
Yeah. Oh,
because
I saw your kids.
Yeah, you don't want to put expectations. Oh, yeah, I sent a funny video of my youngest son dropping F-bombs in a video at his older brother's graduation, and he got in trouble for it, obviously. But
yeah. They recorded it on your phone.
But it's hard not to laugh as a parent, because
it is. We laughed in private.
Yeah, it was kid stuff. It's not like, he's not seeing me laugh at it, but we addressed it. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think expectations of your children have always got to be in check, because your kids do reach an age where they start to make decisions for themselves. Mm-hmm. And you can't hold the weight of every decision they make as your responsibility or your failure or success as a parent, because your kids are imperfect, but they are people.
Yeah, and their own entities.
And they're going to involve themselves with other people and other kids, and they're going to be influenced by others outside of you. Now, how much you're involved with your kids does play a part. How much time you spend with them, how your approach is when it comes to when they fall short of your expectations.
Yeah.
But as they become teenagers, as they become know-it-alls, I think it's important as a parent to let them fail, let them fall, so that sometimes that is the best medicine for a know-it-all teenager, or even early 20-something. I know it was for me. Like, I had to see my parents throw their hands up and say, "Good luck, buddy."
Yeah.
Like, they've given me all the direction they could, but I was still living life on,
Planet Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. I still do sometimes.
Yeah.
But I feel like, every mistake you go through as a human, you learn, and then you kind of think back and you're like, oh, like maybe mom and dad had it right, or maybe, grandpa had it right, or whoever it was in your life that was trying to steer you in the right direction. Sometimes it takes those exact moments where shit goes wrong and you're like, oh, I get it now. You know.
But hopefully that they don't have too many of those scenarios, because the road can get very, very dark if you go too far in one direction. But to your point, you hope for the best for them. You try to encourage them. You try to guide and give them good counsel. But at the end of the day, they still get to choose their own opinions. And then when you have a conversation with them and you think to yourself, where is the logic that is creating this decision that you're making? You have to remind yourself that, their brain isn't completely developed until they're about 25.
Yeah.
So the frontal cortex is still forming and developing all the way up until you're 25. So some of the things they say before. Medulla oblongata. That's in the back. And that's what the water board was concerned about.
The penile gland.
What? You just naming off random things now. Pituitary gland. But, you have to give them grace and understand, like, I'm not going to be able to get through to you. So what I can't teach you, I'm going to let life teach you. And I won't be there to be your parachute when you fall. But I'll talk to you about it when you are at a point where you realize, hey, I probably could have used some guidance and counseling on this before I made this decision.
And that's the hardest thing for a parent.
It is.
Because you don't want your kids to suffer.
No, that's not the goal.
And
the goal is to watch them achieve great things,
yeah.
prosper, live long, be happy.
Yeah, and just the last thing I'll say about kids and expectations is parents don't try to live out your failed dreams through your kids.
Oh, Lord.
Like make sure that you know for certain that you've let go of any idea of your kids having to replicate anything in your life that you wish you had done.
Yeah.
Because their journey is going to be their journey. So like, I've seen it before with jiu-jitsu where parents really put a lot of pressure on their kid to be this thing, and the parent doesn't even train.
Yeah.
Like, I've got this one dad who, like, every time he's in class, he's coaching and acts like he knows better, and he's coaching his kids. And we've already had the conversation once, like, hey, man, we don't
we don't allow parents to do that.
I don't see him often enough for it to be a real problem anymore, but every time he comes in, I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
This guy walks in like he fucking owns the place, and he's gonna step on my toes, and I have to. And fortunately, it's one of those situations where if it was every week, it'd be one thing, but I see this guy once a month, so it's not really a big deal. But
is the juice worth the squeeze?
But I could tell, like, I know I have to remind myself, okay, this guy, he does love his kids and want to see them succeed, but as a man, you have to know when you're out of your element. Yeah. And you're in an arena where you know nothing. Yeah. And that's very hard for some men who have
egos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I've seen those same parents before myself, and I'm thinking to myself, but what you're telling them is not right. Like, that's not the correct answer to the test. Like, you're not going to be successful if you do what your dad says. So you can do that if you would like. But as soon as this person passes your guard or that doesn't work, I'll be more than willing to show you the correct way of doing it. Yeah. And that's usually the approach I take, of just because those people, I think at times have to feel like they're adding value. And if anybody should teach their kids anything, it should be them. Even though I'm paying you to teach them, I really should be the one teaching them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's a slippery slope when you're trying to be a parent and coach your kid.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
I give you a lot of credit for that. You do a really good job.
When it came, because I tried it initially, and when I was at that one grappling games tournament as a blue belt, and my kids were wanting me to, like, give them attention and help them in those moments at the tournament, I was like, I can't do this because
get away from me, little one.
I got to fight myself coming up, and I can't concentrate or focus. So I don't want to perform poorly either. But at the same time, there's plenty of people around here who can give you the right understanding and education for what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, with the kids, it's like, unless the kid is really adept as an athlete and knows how to listen to a coach and understands all the ins and outs of their game, which most kids who compete are not. Right. Most kids who are competing are going out there and just brawling and having fun with it, and some kids just win on pure aggression for a long time before they actually learn any real jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
So, like, as a coach, parents and coaches, be mindful of who those kids are, because it's probably the majority of your class. There's only a few standouts that really will respond to the level of coaching that an adult student would.
Right.
So with that, in that regard, it's like, don't be caught up in being there for every single kid or whatever, because, I mean, in some cases, the parent's just as good to sit in that coach's chair as long as they're not yelling out a bunch of BS, technical advice.
Making up stuff.
Yeah, that they don't even know. A lot of quality coaching, and this is even for white belts and blue belts, is just letting them know the score, letting them know how much time they have left. Yeah. I made a coaching mistake with one of our guys at Nashville. He was in a position where he was down on points early in the match, and we were about halfway in. I was like, okay, he needs to start trying to get a sub, but he scored enough, and at the end of the match, he could have finished an armbar, or no, he was trying to finish an armbar, but he could have gotten the mount and could have been up and won the match by 1 point. And I'm sitting here looking back like, why didn't I coach him to score there?
Yeah.
And that's something that I have to work on, is paying attention to the scoreboard in those moments, because in his attempts to attack submissions, he had racked up a bunch of points that I wasn't even paying attention to. And so, it's like moments like that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. One thing that I learned from just watching you is specifically with kids, because they work so hard and they move so fast when they're going through the matches, they don't get all the points that they should because they're trying to move.
Yeah.
So one of the things I picked up from you is whenever you see your kid get to a position that they're going to score, instead of telling them the next thing to do, I tell them, hey, just hold on to that. Just stay right where you are. Don't move. Hold them, hold them, hold them. Once I see they've got their points, then I tell them, okay, now you can move.
Yeah.
And it just becomes like red light, green light. And I think I may actually start using that terminology, because with some kids, it just resonates. They automatically know, like, stop moving, hold them here, hold them here, hold them here. I got my points, green light, now I can go.
Yeah, it's tough to bridge that gap sometimes from how you would teach adults to how you would teach kids.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have to fluff and be performative, but that's how kids respond. You got to kind of find metaphors and analogies that they connect to, or they can really all of a sudden be excited and pay attention.
Yeah.
Most of the time when I'm teaching things, I just get like really like serious about like submissions. I'm like, how do you break this arm? And all of a sudden all the kids are wide-eyed. Like,
yeah.
Like, how long are you supposed to choke somebody before they die? Like all of a sudden you have all their attention.
I mean, but it's true. Like, those are the things that kids, that's when they start paying attention.
Yeah.
The fingers come out their nose, and it's like, what did he just
this
say?
Is some serious stuff. They look over at their body. Are we supposed to be learning?
Are we
this?
okay with this? Yes, that's why we're paying.
You in my world now. Oh, man. Bow to your sensei.
Master Jeff.
Where we at, dude?
Man, 72 minutes.
That's pretty good for a podcast, I think.
It is.
Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this fine episode of Be on the Mats. If you guys could follow us at Be on the Mats. That's 4 words all squished together. Be on the Mats. Instagram, Facebook. Our full episodes are on YouTube and Spotify. We are... dude, I'm just so brain dead, bro.
Jiu-jitsu experts.
Take over the end, man.
Yeah, so we are glad that you hung out with us tonight, and definitely want you to come and visit us again. And not only that, tell your friends. We love to get questions, comments from you, anyone who may be viewing. If there's a topic you'd like us to talk about, shoot us an email or send it something in the team or the chat, or leave a message. We love anybody's feedback, because we're kind of trying to continue to grow this thing and want to make sure we're adding value to everybody that's listening, and find more people that will listen so we can add value to them as well. But I think that's it.
Yeah, last thing is we do record every Sunday and we upload every Monday. So that's our commitment to you guys, once a week. Mondays usually you'll get uploaded new episodes. So that's it.
That's it.
All right.
Y'all have a good one.
Later.
Thank you.